Hey, WCI traders and investors, Matt Buckley, the Chief Investment Strategist here at Wealth Creation Investing. And after last week, folks, I think the market is still kind of standing around, rubbing its face and getting kind of trying to get over a hangover. And obviously last week, folks, just an obviously incredible week in the United States and around the world, from the anniversary of 9/11 to the attacks on America again on 9/11, to the devastating loss we suffered in Libya, to the just absolute embarrassment of the President of the United States telling the Israeli ambassador, or the Premier Netanyahu, that hey, I'm kind of busy when you're in town next month because I'll be on Letterman. It's surreal, folks, around the globe what's going on. And then obviously the Fed coming out, the Fed chief being the Pope, and saying there is no hell, and the market essentially rocketing off to the moon on Thursday and Friday. A little bit of a short squeeze, in my opinion, because folks just didn't expect the Fed chief to go all in. He didn't expect the Fed chief to say, here's all my chips, plus my belt and my gun. And what if it doesn't work, folks? I'm telling you right now, it isn't going to work, because the Fed's policy is so disconnected from the reality of the Obama administration. So the Bernac said he's going to hover his helicopter over the market until the jobs market recovers. He's just going to dump liquidity, buying really, mortgage-backed securities and keeping rates low through 2015, even though he's probably not going to have a job by then. It's not going to work, because the president, with our fiscal cliff coming, and he's declared more or less class warfare, and if he lets the, quote, Bush tax cuts expire, small businesses will not hire, period. Small business owners whose taxes will go up on January 1st are simply not going to hire. I know for a fact. I'm one of them. So until the portrait out of Washington, the future picture out of Washington becomes a lot more clear, businesses are going to sit on their hands, period. And I'm also a consultant to Fortune 500 companies around the globe. Just got back from working with Oracle down in Brazil last week. I can tell you, to a organization, that nobody is really hiring. Everybody's sitting on their hands, and a lot of businesses, especially here in the United States, are just sitting on a ton of cash, and they're not hiring. Mainly for that reason, because taxes are going to go up, Obamacare is going to hit. So the Fed chairman can do whatever he wants, and it's not going to work. Matter of fact, it's going to put us more in debt. And someday, folks, just like any business, he's going to have to clean up that balance sheet. So even though he's doing like the priest on the Exorcist, the movie The Exorcist, and bringing all the bad stuff into him onto the Fed's balance sheet, eventually, folks, those positions are going to have to be unwound. Eventually, folks, interest rates will go up. And when interest rates go up, our currently $16 trillion, but let's say a couple years from now, $18 trillion in debt, the amount we're going to have to pay in interest on our deficit is insane. So this is, again, as I've coined it, Operation Snake Eating Our Own Tail. This isn't QE3, it's Operation Eating Our Own Tail, and it's going to end poorly. And not that I take any joy in that, but I am going to tell you I'm going to potentially profit, like you read about in Profit on Stupidity magazine, because it is stupid. And we have a lot of positions in our model portfolios that are hedged. So when this market really does wake up and start treating bad news as bad news, folks, markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. So when somebody else fire, and I'm starting to smell smoke, to be honest with you, the stampede for the door is going to be horrendous. Do not get trampled. So make sure you're either trading with us in our Wealth Creation with Options program, or over on the little more elite Top Gun options side of the house, because we have positions on that are going to keep us safe when the world ends. And I didn't say if, it's a matter of when. Israel's going to attack Iran. Oil prices, we have a couple USO positions on that are actually just doing phenomenal. Up about $2,700 in a couple months here, over 145%, 170% on one trade, up 67% on another trade right now. And we did these trades for credit. These are options trades, folks, and we actually got paid to put these bullish trades on oil on, and it's just doing extremely well, folks. I mean, $2,400 in a month or so is some good work in my book. So, folks, this week is going to be, there's not a ton going on in the market. Monday's pretty much a dead day with the Jewish holiday. Tomorrow, some housing information might be interesting at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. But this, folks, these used to be important to me. FOMC member Dudley speaks. I used to hang on every word. Now I really don't care. Now I don't care what anybody from the Fed says. The Fed chief has spoken. It's like, Zeus came out, spoke, and he's going back inside. We really don't need to hear another word from him since he's essentially said open-ended asset purchases until something good happens. What if something good doesn't happen? Okay, building permits on Wednesday, housing starts, existing home sales. Those are all going to be pretty interesting as well on Wednesday. Thursday, unemployment claims, weekly unemployment claims, and FOMC Lockhart speeds. Yawn. I really don't care. This one will be interesting, though, folks. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. That's going to be an interesting one. They're looking for an improvement in it. We'll see. And then on Friday, really kind of a quiet day in the market. Really don't care that Lockhart's speaking again. Who cares? The Fed's already spoken, folks, and it's just not good what they had to say. Okay, so starting to get to a point in the market where I think the market's going to actually start reacting poorly to poor news. Since we know the Fed's put all their cards on the table, all their chips in, and there's really nothing else the Fed can do. There's one thing the Fed can do, and that's lower the interest rate that it gives to banks to hold money in reserve, or even pay banks a small rate to get them to loan. It's not going to happen, folks. So, again, I got one eye towards the exit. Not going to fight the Fed, so obviously going to potentially profit. But folks, I got to tell you, after the and of course the media, mainstream media, is ignoring anything that's going on overseas. Could you imagine if Bush or Cheney were president and Al Qaeda raised the black flag, their black flag, over our Tunisian embassy? It would be breaking news, and the networks would be covering it 24/7. Yawn. And they'd also be covering it if President Bush were flying to Las Vegas and then partying with Beyonce in New York while our embassies burned. So the media is going to do whatever it takes to get Obama reelected, and it's absolutely disgusting in my opinion. So folks, do your own due diligence, do your own research, get your head above the trenches. Don't listen to anything that's going on in the media, and figure it out yourself, or come trade with us and hear the truth, because you're going to hate Wall Street even more than you did in 2008, 2009, when this next leg hits us. Okay, so make sure you're hedged. All right, gonna see you guys tomorrow with a market sit rep from Top Gun Options. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge.